when you talk about security in Pakistan, the major things that MQM is accused of is of the May 12th carnage, when the Chief Justice was about to come. And of course, there were lots of articles written about that. You also spoke about how, the issue needs to be addressed.
I think
you haven't been able to shake it off, even now.
Like the Agartala Sazish, whether it was conspiracy, Agartala conspiracy, that actually finally led to the dismemberment of East Pakistan. Then there were insurgencies in Balochistan during the first People's Party.
I see what you're saying. I see that you're saying that there is a conspiracy against your party, you're maligning your party. But sir, there was video footage of MQM workers with MQM flags that was telecast live on private television channels.
Why MQM was the first political party to come out and say that we want a high-powered commission, a judicial commission onto this?
Under Musharraf's regime, sir.
Under Musharraf's regime.
Do you think that there could have been a free and just at that time any kind of a report under Musharraf's regime, when he had already dismissed the judges who people had faith in? There was a whole movement against Musharraf. You think that in those times there could have been a fair inquiry?
Actually, that was an onus on us, and it was also a conspiracy, as I said it, that it also aimed at containing the popularity of MQM, which was on the rise in the aftermath of the kind of the rescue, rehabilitation and relief work that we carried out in the aftermath.
You did great work in the earthquake. I saw it for myself.
That was a conspiracy.
Let me ask you this. Rangers just miraculously disappeared on that particular day. There were containers that were blocking the road to the airport.
Who gave away the orders for putting in the containers as the barricades, number one?
You should know, you were in government.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that if the judges in the Musharraf's time were not acceptable and could not have conducted a fair and free inquiry, so let's form a judicial commission today and make an inquiry into it. And along with this, I have been saying it from time and again, that the 15,000 workers that MQM had lost, the Orangi town carnage of 1986, when MQM had just appeared on the landscape of political landscape of Pakistan. So there are so many...
that's true, that there should be, I agree with you, there should be reconciliation, and a lot of people demand that. But sir, I want to ask you, why was it so important to have a rally on the same day, and a pro-MQM rally on the same day?
Look, we are open to any kind of criticism politically, as long as our political decisions are brought into question. So one may disagree with the MQM's wisdom of holding the rally on that day. And
when you look back on that day, because it has cost the MQM its reputation, so when you look back on that day as a leader,
not only reputation,
do you regret certain
along with ANP, along with PMLN, along with Jamaat-e-Islami, the number of the MQM's workers that were lost out of a total 42 workers were killed, MQM's loss was 14 workers. And
so
five of them come from the Pashto-speaking families.
Right. So you lost people on that day. As a leader, when you look back on that day, is there something that you regret?
I just have to make 2 points before I just go to answer your question. That if MQM had any kind of with the use of force stopping the Chief Justice from coming into the city, then the rally of MQM included its women folk, elderly people and children. Who on earth would want that if we had anything?
But it was the vagabonds that were actually stopping the people. It was not the women and the children. The rally was separate.
So that shows that if my decision was wrong or right, not going into that debate, who initiated and imposed the violence on that day? The first shots came onto my rally. My rally came into attack on 14 different points and 12 different points, and 14 workers of MQM were killed. And then it was shown that as a reaction, then other people and other party workers were killed. So I just want that thing to be investigated.
You want it to be investigated. What has stopped you from investigating it? You are again a coalition partner. When you do speak to your other coalition partners...
If I am in the coalition government of Musharraf and I am demanding a high-powered commission, a judicial commission, then I am not believed or I am not taken seriously. That during Musharraf's period it was not. So my responsibility is that I am for it. If other coalition partners also want it like that, so let's have a judicial commission onto that.
Alright, you talk about the judicial commission. Let's move forward.
Instead of making it a media issue,
so you don't regret,
just keep on beating around the bush.
Do you regret something about that day?
What I am saying that it was a national loss, a colossal loss of lives. So everybody has to regret that.
Why did you impose a ban on Imran Khan coming to Karachi?
I think again we have come a long way. If in the immediate aftermath of that situation, for maintaining the law and order, one may agree or disagree. If
but looking back, do you agree or disagree? Should you have imposed a ban on Imran Khan? Looking back, now.
I think again it will amount to that thing which has passed away. We have come a long way now. So if in the retrospect, if you want me to make a comment. So how would I? Because the mindset was different. The input, the information.
Whose idea was it to impose a ban on Imran Khan?
Of course, it has to be the law enforcement agencies who recommend that.
You are in government, sir. You are in law enforcement agencies themselves.
They have the ultimate responsibility of executing.
But he came later. Imran Khan came to Karachi after May 12th. Yeah. So it was obviously a political decision to impose a ban on Imran Khan. I mean, I'm just wondering who.
I'm not saying that it was not a political decision. It was a decision of the then coalition government, and it was on the recommendations of the law enforcement agencies, and it was actually a consultation that finally. But I think such decisions are always looked at with great suspicion by people who politically would not agree with such decisions. So there is always a room for the disagreement.
You know, I want to ask you one quick question.
And a criticism is always welcomed on that.
You know, your coalition partners criticize you. They say that you are not reliable coalition partners. Do you regret supporting Musharraf right to the very end?
On one hand, you are saying that whether we regret in supporting Musharraf all along and throughout. And on the other hand...
No, you didn't support him throughout. On the Balochistan issue when Nawab Akbar Bugti was killed, you threatened to quit the government.
So you have given the answer that our coalition with any of the political partners is always based on some principles. On our ideology, we go by our ideology.
Then why did you quit the government, sir? You threatened to quit the government when Nawab Akbar Bugti was killed, but you never did quit the government. You said stop the military operation, otherwise we were going to quit the government. But you never quit the government.
On whichever issue, no matter how big that issue may be, if we just quit one government, then I know it's a double-edged sword. Then the allegation is that you are not a reliable partner. And if you continue to be with a political partner, but this is the politics that the coalition in different parts of the world has been exhibiting, that the small partners, they always like the Communist Party in India.
Are you going to keep this coalition intact with the People's Party?
Actually, again, that has to be driven by three fundamentals. One is the stability in Pakistan, number one. We have to always keep that in mind. Number two is the success. We have to make this agenda of reconciliation a success, and that democracy has to be given a chance. These are the three primary things that are going to determine.
At the moment you are comfortable with the PPP?
Whether am I or not, but these three things are of primary consideration. When it comes to sharing power, when it comes to sharing administrative authority, when it comes to taking policy and making policy and taking decisions, and when it comes to the process of consultation, I have openly expressed my that it is not entirely up to the satisfaction of my party cadres. So my policy is of that I keep on pursuing, I keep on hammering, and my persistency on pushing with my agenda, actually I am making my coalition partner deliver. That is actually my policy. That I have to make them deliver not only on what
Sir, former President Musharraf is now paving the way for his return. He wants to come back into Pakistani politics. Will the NQM support their old friend Musharraf?
In my personal capacity, I would like to advise him that this is not the right time. And most importantly, that he was never a politician. His training was not like that. He's a good administrator.
He was never a politician.
He was never a politician.
He played politics for 8 years, sir.
That's where actually he then
Tumbled
also on and Balochistan was a thing that he was going after Balochistan on the information that he had from his subordinates. He was ready with that in as early as in January 2006, but it was MQM who just put up the biggest resistance. There was a conference in the GSQ.
You supported him right till the very end.
Then for one long year, then he gave the political process a chance, and when the political process came out, there were two committees subsequently formed, so it was only because of the MQM. So he actually postponed his Balochistan operation for 1 year because of the MQM's effort into coalition.
There is one thing
And
that I
then
want
this
to ask you
political
about.
strategy was ready for implementation. The constitutional amendment thing and the administrative thing and the political work that we did, the two committees, then all of a sudden this bugles of war again began to reverberate.
You know, under Musharraf, not just one leader was killed, two leaders were killed. Benazir Bhutto was killed. Your party was in coalition at the time when Benazir Bhutto came, and on the 18th of October, all the lights were switched off. Now, just last year, President Zardari gave a speech at the Quaid-e-Azam Mausoleum, and the Chief Minister is on record saying that it's very strange.
I think I will not be carried away with the insinuations or the words that are not very clearly spoken about.
In your opinion, who do you think killed Benazir Bhutto?
I think instead of going into and speculating that who killed Benazir Bhutto, more important that is that the investigation should be made into it. The culprits should be taken to task.
Do you think they will be taken to task, sir? If a land mafia in Pakistan cannot be tackled, do you think somebody who killed Benazir Bhutto can?
If there is a will, then nothing is impossible.
Where do you see the NQM in the next 5 years? What are going to be your goals? You talk about a silent revolution. How are you going to bring about silent revolution?
We have already very silently started working on that, and NQM is one party who believes that it's not only the mobilization of the people, it's not only uniting the people, but it's all about organizing the people also. That you have to use the potential of the unity of the people and their mobilization. And we are even going
and all of this is going to happen
along with
Altaf Hussain Saab sitting in London.
Along with
when will he return? I mean, you know, a lot of people ask that NQM has become a headless party, with the leader always absent.
A headless party is now making it to the national scene. Look at his performance. I'm carrying a success story with me, the Karachi and the Hyderabad story. The way those cities were transformed during the last 4 years. The way
we have
come a long way in the last 8 to 10 years.
Will the chief of the NQM, Altaf Hussain, return to Pakistan to lead his party? And what is keeping him away?
He is ever ready to come back, serve his people directly, guide them directly. But it is the decision of the Central Executive and now this Central Coordination Committee that since there are serious threats to his life, we do not want to expose him to the...
But there are threats to your life, sir. We began the interview by saying that threats to your life. You continue to live.
That is the party's decision, party's policy. And
how can it threats to anybody's life? Because the threats to Benazir was killed in this country, sir. Mukti was killed in this country.
Revolutions and history where leaders sitting abroad, like Imam Khomeini.
All right, sir. Thank you very much. We wish you the best of luck.
Last thing I have to say to the people of Punjab that
please do.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭੀ ਨੂੰ ਆਜ਼ਮਾਇਆ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਜ਼ਮਾਓ, ਜੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਦ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਵਾਪਸ.
Thank you so much for joining us on Face Off, and we wish you the best of luck in Punjab.